You must be the funeral celebrant.
G'day, I'm Greg Beecroft.
Brian.
Sorry to be here under these circumstances. Very difficult.
Yeah. Let's have a seat.
Thank you. You have a lovely house.
Thanks.
Thanks. So you live here with Nicole, your new partner, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough in these times. I've had a few funerals, and it's tough to know what to say. Yeah, I'm here today to help. What the process is going to be today is to help you write a funeral. We've got a few days before the funeral, so we'll try to structure a little bit now. And if you talk to Olivia, your former wife,
Yeah.
and
Joanne's mum.
if you talk to her, and also her brothers, Rick and Alan,
Yeah.
talk to the brothers and some friends about some details, and I'll try to. I'm going to piece together a funeral forward for you. Try to take the worries away for you. What we'll do today is we'll discuss the funeral service. I believe you've already met our funeral director.
Yeah, we spoke on the phone earlier.
Rightio. Well, he's given me a rundown of when the funeral's going to be, where it's going to be at. So we'll just run through that. And my job is to try to make it a really good, dignified service for you and your family there, and take the pressure off you. So I've got here for you. These are just some things we'll discuss, and I'll leave with you. So these are just some points we'll be discussing today. So you can keep this, and if there's anything, because I know it's a difficult time, but if there's anything you think of the next couple of days that you'd like me to add in, or information that you've come, because it's very hard to put things together at the moment, so I'll leave you with that.
Okay.
And also these are a sample of some funerals I've done in the past, various elements that have come up that you might like to include in your own funeral, just a few ideas for you. Okay? All right, so those two things are for you. All right, so Gary, our funeral director, said when he spoke to you the other day that you were still deciding whether you want a burial or a cremation. Have you got an idea what you'd like now?
Yeah, we'd like to go for cremation.
A cremation, okay. So I'll let Gary know that you've decided on a cremation there. And a coffin, have you decided on a coffin what you'd like?
Yeah, just standard wood.
A standard coffin? I'm just going to turn my computer on because I've just got a few things here that I'll show you later on that will give you a few suggestions, okay? So just a standard, okay? And Gary will be able to organise that for you, okay? All right. Okay. Just some general, I want to get and look, I appreciate, take as much time as you want to answer because I appreciate how difficult it's going to be, but just some background about Sue Ann. So just so I can prepare some ideas for it in my opening to welcome everybody and let them know a little bit about her life there. So what's some general information about Sue Ann? So when was she born?
February 2000.
February 2000, the year of the Olympics. February 2000, okay. And do you know what date she was born? That's okay, I'll check in Gary's records, I think you'll have that one. Where did she go to school at?
St. Brigadine's Girls' College.
Okay, so quite a prestigious school.
Yeah, expensive too.
St. Brigadine's School, okay. Now she finished school 2 years ago. What did she do after school?
She went to Sydney University to be a vet.
Sydney University. Sydney University to be a vet.
Yeah, she was in her second year of university this year.
I'm very sorry. Very sorry to be a vet. That would have been a great career.
Yeah, she loved animals.
Did she have? Well, that leads to my next question. What sort of animals did she like?
Horses mainly. She was quite a horse rider. Used to take her out in the paddock when she was younger. And yeah.
Horses. When did you know that? Like, did she always want to be a vet? Like, did she always have a love of animals?
Oh yeah. Early on, she was always, was this bird injured, and yeah, she brought it in and nursed it back to health, and she was about 6 when she did that. That's when when she decided that was going to be for her.
Right, so when she was 6. Can I get you a glass of water or anything?
Oh, fine.
Who were the close friends she had?
She was pretty close with Chloe and Kylie. They were pretty close.
Were they school friends?
Yeah.
Chloe and Kylie. Did she play any sport?
Just horse riding. Tennis occasionally.
And horse riding and tennis, okay. Special memories that you had together as a family, or special memories for Sue Ann?
Well, the bird one I mentioned earlier, when she nursed that back to health, that's pretty special for a 6-year-old. It's pretty good Christmases, some good days in the caravan parks. They were always fun. Went to Dubbo Zoo once. She loved that. I think that helped her want to become a vet as well. She said she wanted to work with lions. I don't know if she'd do too well with lions.
That's okay. So very, very good. Lions and birds. Any interesting stories about her growing up? Like, do you have a story that sticks out for you? I know we've got the bird one already, and Dubbo Zoo, but is there an interesting story that you can recollect?
Sorry, nothing's coming to me right now. I might be able to think of one later.
You probably, take your time, because I it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Just usual family stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's tough doing this, and I know that's what I'll leave you the information there in case something comes up, and maybe in the next couple of days when some friends come over or something you might hear or something, remember something, just let me know if you can, if you want to. There's no pressure if you want to. All right. So friends with Chloe and Kylie. What hobbies? You mentioned horse riding. Did she have any other hobbies?
Most of the time was spent studying. She'd get up to the paddock when she could, but did a bit of night clubbing. As most young people do, I suppose.
So she was very, very dedicated to her.
Used to read a lot when she was younger. Huge into Harry Potter.
Reading Harry Potter.
Had a Hogwarts sign on her door. Big into it. She would have been Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. I got a son who's similar age, and he liked Harry Potter too. Any favourite music?
Usual stuff. She's pretty big into Beyonce.
Beyonce?
She used to dance around to that when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when Single Ladies came out. Beyonce, Avril Lavigne, standard stuff, Ariana Grande.
One of her friends, who I met on the way in the lounge room, was telling me that she liked One Direction.
Oh, yeah, she was a One Directioner, especially Harry.
Yeah.
A big cutout of his for a while.
Cut out of Harry Styles. My wife likes him. Cut out of Harry Styles. Like a full size cutout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was always playing Watermelon Sugar too.
What's Watermelon Sugar?
The Harry Styles song.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm a bit too old for that. Watermelon Sugar. So would that be your favourite song?
Yeah, probably at the time.
Watermelon Sugar. Righty, I'll try to write that into the. I'll have to go listen to that. Download it. Watermelon Sugar. I'm getting old. I'm more into the Bruce Springsteen and Rolling Stones. Is that what you sort of into yourself, Brian?
Oh, yeah, I actually saw Stones a few times.
Have you?
Great band.
Yeah, they're probably my favourite. And Mick Jagger, he's 77 now.
He's a king.
So, Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar. I didn't know you could have a song. I know Rolling Stones got a song, Brown Sugar, but we got Watermelon Sugar here.
Harry's a new Mick Jagger.
Right, yeah. I'm definitely going to listen to Watermelon Sugar when I get home tonight. Check that out. All right, so Harry Styles definitely can do something there. And you mentioned you liked the books, Harry Potter. What movies did she like? Is there any favourite movies she used to go up to see?
Yeah, she was a bit of a cinema buff. She liked Quentin Tarantino quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
She, I remember she went as the woman from Pulp Fiction to a costume party once. So.
Pulp Fiction. Movies and Pulp Fiction, okay. Very good. Okay, so we've got those things there. You mentioned her interest in animals before. You've told me your songs and movies. Holiday destinations, is there a place that you used to like to go as a family or by yourself with the friends, or anything in particular? Like, did you have a great holiday together?
The trip out to Dubbo when the kids were younger was great. She went to Surfers Paradise for schoolies. She had a great time. Didn't really want to go on there, but she had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to go to Bali eventually. She's pretty keen on Europe.
So she had ambitions to travel.
Yeah, that was definitely an ambition.
Ambitions to travel, okay. If you need a break at all, just let me know if you need a break, if it's too much.
Let's push on.
Okay. These are things, just some thoughts for you, but a lot of people now like to, music becomes a big part of funerals because they evoke memories and things like that. So when the funeral commences, often we can have a song that's significant for Sue Ann. So if you think, you don't have to think of one now, but if you can think of a song that would be good for gathering the people together, that you might think is appropriate, that would resonate with the friends and family, that would be special for you and for Sue Ann. I don't know whether Watermelon Sugar might be the one, but there's no limit. Like I was at one funeral that I had, and nothing surprises me at all with funerals now because you've got to personalise them. And when they carried out the coffin, they played the theme from the Time Warp. You know, it's just a jump to the left. So really, after that day, there's no limit now because we want to personalise the funeral for Sue Ann. And so whatever songs you think that are going to create good memories for yourself and your family and your friends, we're happy to have. Okay, so if you can think of some songs, like a song for the start of the funeral, also a song for probably at the end of the funeral, when the funeral's over, they're there to help things. So probably two songs that are quite significant. Again, you don't have to tell me now. You might want to discuss with your wife, your former wife Olivia, Sue Ann's mum, and brothers to think of us songs there that might work well with that one.
Yeah, I'll ask her brothers.
Yeah, because that's, and it'd be good to have input from a few people, because from her mother and her brothers that you want the whole family to be involved naturally there. Okay, so that's a good idea to do that. But music is quite a powerful thing to have there. Also, would you like a special? Sometimes in funerals, at the start of the funeral, we have special items brought forward, like that are significant. So if you can think of any significant items that would be, like people want to carry them up, like that are significant to Sue Ann and the family, like there might be a picture, there might be an award she won at school, let's say she won an English award, or she might have won a trophy for horse riding, or it might have been just anything that's significant. And there's no limit. It could be 3 or 4 things, that are brought forward to symbolise her life. Okay, so again, that's something. It's in the sheet there that you've got here. So where it says songs and symbols. So anything, and that way I'll add them to the ceremony, and I'll give a description of why they're important there. Okay. Again, there's we've got a couple of days because the funeral's 4 days away, so we've got time, and I'll even if I get them the night before, that's probably the cut-off. But even if you tell me on the day, you come and say, look, I want to add this to the funeral today. Can you do it? While the funeral is already printed up, I'll have a pen and I can just make notes and add it in. Okay, I'm pretty flexible. I can add things into it at the last moment because I know it's a difficult time. Okay, so they're just significant items that we can add in if we need to. All right. So you think of any special things that you'd like to be brought forward, we can do that. All right. And also, just if you might want to think of people that would like to bring them up. So whether you take one up, your wife takes one up, then your former wife or brothers take one up, or cousins or relatives, they could take it up. Okay, and I'll probably just need the name of the people taking them up there too. Now, with at the start, after we've had the music and we've had the items brought forward, the next part of the funeral will be a welcome. Like normally I do a welcome, an introduction, and this could include a prayer or a hymn, or depending on which style of funeral you want. And with the welcome, I'll write it. I'll write the welcome for the funeral.
Okay.
And is there any? Again, you don't have to think of it now, but is there anything particular you'd like me to say? Like, and again, you might want me to thank people. So thank people for coming today. You might be anything at all, but I'll do that in the welcome. In the funerals I've given you, there's some samples of welcomes I've done, and in the welcome I can, pretty much it's just thank people for coming and celebrating and sharing the memories of Sue Ann's life. But if there's anything significant you want me to say or you think of, just let me know. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll have the welcome will always start the funeral there. The next part is the eulogy, okay? And the eulogy is where we do, it's a reflection on Sue Ann's life, okay? It's a reflection. Now that can be read by, it's normally read by family members, or it can be read by the celebrant, so there's no pressure there, okay? In the past, what's happened is people have got up to speak and they've had trouble speaking. So in that, I generally stand, I introduce the person, so the eulogy will now be read by such and such. And if they have trouble getting it through, because no one knows how they're going to be on the day. So if they have trouble, then I'm normally there to comfort. And normally when people go up and say the eulogy, sometimes they often go up in pairs, so if they're going to be vulnerable, they'll have someone there to help them. But if they're sometimes, so I'm there to assist and take over, like help them, give them every opportunity to read it, but if they can't, I'll take over. But if I can just read it for them if it's due. So let's say your former wife decides to read, or you decide to read, and on the day you say, look, I can't do it. Can you do it? I'm happy to do that. Okay, I'm happy to read the eulogy for you. Or if your brother or if your 2 sons are going to read the eulogy, I'm happy to read for them. It's your choice, but the eulogy is that's one of the main parts of the funeral now, where you talk about their life. So think about who you'd like to do that, or who's going to do it, But again, if you can't read, it's too emotional, then I'm happy to read that for you, okay? Or even if you start reading, I'm happy to take over. But again, there's no pressure. So do you have any idea who's going to say the eulogy, or have you thought about that on the day?
I'll have to speak to her brothers, but I think Alan would probably like to do it, but I haven't checked with him yet. But yeah. Probably Alan.
And look, I've got a few samples of eulogies that I've had to do before, and I've included them in there for you.
Okay.
To give you a few samples of what's included. But it's just, and you get things online now, just a checklist of what you need to include. But for me, a eulogy is probably one of the main parts of the service. All right, so it's important we get that done well for Sue Ann. Okay. Another really important thing that is part of a funeral now is like a reflection. Okay, a reflection now. Now with modern technology, there's nothing off limits now. Like in the days gone past, where 30 years ago when you had a funeral, you had the eulogy, and a reflection was put your head down and sit in silence and think about the person. Now we sort of have a lot of people create PowerPoints, slideshow presentations to music of their favourite song, because now everyone's got a phone and there's unlimited pictures on their phones. So you might have a whole, and even ask your friends if there's some favourite pictures they've got. You could even get them off Facebook or Instagram or those type of things, and see if there's someone in your family that would like to create a slideshow presentation to a favourite song, or one of her favourite songs, and after eulogy we'll have that reflection. And that's a really powerful way, and it's good because after you've had the words of the eulogy, in a 4-minute song you can pretty much go close to summing up someone's life in pictures. You can go for 8 minutes, but I think one song is enough. And even before the funeral starts, in the chapel we can have a slideshow going of things, of. So if you've got someone there that's creative that would like to help you put that together in the next couple of days, that's always good. But also, you need to work out who's going to play it. Like play the slideshow, like someone's got to bring it and play it. Now, if you have trouble doing that, let me know, because I'll see if I can get one of our workers from the funeral company to assist with that. Okay, Gary's got a few people there that might be able to assist and help you with that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's important as well. I've got all these resources here that I'll email to you, so I'll get your email address later on, but I'll send you over these resources here, and these are some poems and readings and some examples of eulogies and things. And even if you go online now, like go on YouTube, they can give you an example of a few slideshows for funerals as well. Okay, so there's many ways to be done, but we want to try to personalise it and make it as special for Sue Ann as possible. Okay, but again, there's no pressure to just take your time with that. But, all right, so we'll get the eulogy done and the slideshow, and again we've got to just work out who's going to play them on the day. Often people get it done and then there's no one to play it on the day, so we just need, if there's a friend who's going to be there, you can ask them to play that. I'll get there. I normally get to the chapel about an hour before it starts, and I'll liaise with the chapel itself, the people that run the chapel, and I just like to run through my script to make sure everything's set there. So the person that's looking after the slideshow, if they could come and tell them to look out for me, and I'll get them set up. I'll help them get set up, and then I'll go see you and make sure you're okay. If there's any last minute changes, you've got my email address and mobile, so if there's anything you need me to do, let me know, and I'll help you there. But I'll be there an hour beforehand, just to make sure everything's organised and well done. Okay. All right. All right. So I've given you the readings and poems there. Now, a final with the final song, we'll have that. Okay, I'll have the final song, and again, that's probably a favourite one. You said Harry Styles, I think. Probably the way I got introduced to Harry Styles is That's What Makes You Beautiful, that song. So maybe that's quite an uplifting song, but again, it's your day, but that might be a song you might want to have.
I'll chat to Alan and Rick, but something with Harry Styles would be appropriate.
Very, very good. And again, just with those readings and other parts too, you need to work out how many people you want to have read it. If you we probably only want to aim for a service that goes for about 20 minutes. So
Okay.
to the read, like the main parts of the funeral are for me are the eulogy and also the slideshow. But then we also have, now we're going to have the committal, which happens at the cremation. So the committal is where we commit Sue Ann's body back to the elements, okay? And that'll go behind the curtain there, and that's sort of the end. Then after that, and after that, I'll say a few words now to thank everyone for coming. And I find that's a tough part of the day because it's really emotional. So you're having a wake. I think Gary told me you're going back to Cronulla RSL for the wake.
Yeah.
So with that, at a cremation, I tend to, at the welcome, I'll tend to have mention that after the funeral, and I'll do it at the start because I find it's too emotional at the end. But to sit after everyone's really upset to say, oh, now I'll go to the wake here. So I try to do it at the start, say that Brian and Olivia would like to welcome everyone back to share in Sue Ann's life to Cronulla RSL to share memories with her. So I'll do that in my introduction rather than at the end, but also in the booklet, we'll have it in the booklet there too. Okay, and the booklet will just be quite basic, and Gary, our funeral director, will do that, and he'll do it the day before the wedding, and I'll just have reading, like who's doing the readings, like just have a few little things there. So it's a very basic format, but we'll print that for you, and we'll put down the bottom of that. The wake will be held at Cronulla RSL. Okay, that way people will know where to go after it. All right. Now I'll start preparing for this now. I'll start preparing that, and I'll try to get a copy of it over to you the day before. But look, I really understand if you don't read it because you've got so much on. And again, I'm sorry for your loss. And if there's anything I can do between now and then to assist you to try to make it as memorable a service as possible for Sue Ann, I will. Is there anything you'd like to say or include, or?
Can't think of anything right now, Greg. Just want a good experience. Just a nice memorial.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, it's tough. I'll be in contact with you, and we'll just keep talking. If there's any other family members that want to have a chat to me, any of her friends, feel free to pass on my email address to any of her friends. But I'm here for you 24/7 to assist you. So you got my email, you got my number, and we'll make the day as memorable as possible for you. All right. Well, I'll get going now because I'm sure you got other more important things to do.
Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Okay.